young, just a little one, having fun and playing in the sun. All the time goes
Test.
so fast, and I wish I could hold on to what I used to have back in time.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to our RSA after-hour event. Tonight's theme is OpenClaw, security, and what's next. My name is Charlie Lin, and I'm one of the directors of AI at Gen Digital. First off, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I know this is RSA week, which in San Francisco basically means everyone somehow has 4 dinners, 3 side events, 2 panels, and 1 existential AI debate scheduled at exactly the same time. So it really means a lot that you guys are out here. I think you guys chose the right room to be in tonight. This room is about something very real. Not just about the hype cycle, and not just about one of those classic, AI is changing the world conversations. What this room is about is where AI is going next. After the initial wave of excitement, this is the second wave. Second wave, let me think. Yeah, so tonight, what we really, sorry, 1 second. Yeah, so like what I was saying is this is about what happens when AI stops being just an agent, just being a chatbot, and starts becoming something that can take action. This shift is the reason we wanted to host this event. For a long time, AI has been about what models can generate. So think, what can it tell me? What can it answer for me? What image can it generate? But really, the next wave of AI is where we're going through a space where what answer can it give? For a long time, it's been about generation. I think OpenClaw really helped push the conversation somewhere much more important. It made a lot of people realize that the next wave of AI is not just about what models can generate. It's about what models can do. So what they can see, what they can decide, what they can click, what they can connect to, what they can purchase, and what they can send. And when software crosses that line from generating content to taking actions, the stakes go way up. Because at that point, intelligence alone is not enough. You need trust. You need security. You need guardrails. You need systems that work in the real world, not just in a demo. If an agent can access your computer, your files, your accounts, your workflow, your money, your communications, then the question is no longer, is this cool? The real question becomes, can this be trusted? That, in our view, is the defining question of this next era. And it's also why Gen is in this conversation. For those of you who may be more familiar with our children branding than our parent company name, Gen is a Fortune 500 listed on the NASDAQ, and we're behind trusted consumer brands including Norton, Avast, and LifeLock. And we serve nearly 500 million users across more than 150 countries. We've spent decades building across consumer trust, cyber safety, identity, privacy, and protection. As the world shifts from passive AI to action-taking agents, we believe Gen is uniquely built for this moment. Because in this next era, capability matters, but trust wins. Making agents real for consumers means solving the hard security problems. Examples are prompt injection, unsafe permissions, data exfiltration, account compromise, and everything else that comes with software acting on your behalf. This is exactly where Gen has the right to win. We're not here to chase hype. We're here because we believe the trust layer for agents is one of the most important categories being built right now. With that, I've said a lot about where Gen believes this market is going. Let me leave you with 3 action items for tonight. First, come talk to us about Norton Claw, a sneak preview of a new product we're building and what we believe will be the world's most secure and trustworthy OpenClaw instance for consumers. One more slide. Here's a QR code for everyone to scan. It leads to our landing page. We'd love for you guys to sign up and get first access to our beta. Second, come talk to us if you want to help build this future with us. We are hiring across product, engineering, go-to-market, AI security research. Third, come talk to us if you're building. We have an AI foundry at Gen that's really keen on supporting the ecosystem wherever we can, whether that is building a community, making venture-style investments, or even considering strategic M&A where it makes sense. So if your plan tonight was to casually drink, network without talking to someone on our team, that is not a secure default setting. We strongly recommend against it. All jokes aside, we'd love to thank our partners for supporting and co-hosting with us. Special shout out to Z Potentials, which is the next generation AI founder and tech community with over 1 million followers and 500 active founders. They've hosted 50+ invitation-only events and panels with top-tier venture capital firms. Rachel is their co-founder. Would you like to come say a word?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Rachel. I'm the co-founder of the Potentials. Thanks for Charlie host this event, and thanks for everybody come here. And that's all my work. If you're interested, talking with the Potentials, just we can have a talk maybe later. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Rachel. So with that, let's get into the heart of tonight's conversation. Very excited to welcome two people who are deeply in the arena on this topic. First is Howie Xu, Chief AI Officer at Gen Digital, who has been helping drive our vision for how trusted AI products get built and scaled in the real world. Next is Josh Avant, who joins us all the way from Austin. He's an active OpenClaw maintainer and a key voice on security in this ecosystem. Please join me in welcoming both of them. Thank you.
Check. Okay. First, to do a very quick intro before we sit down for a dialogue. So, Chief AI Officer at Gen Digital, as Charlie said, we do a lot of things. But one thing I want you to leave off, and then that's actually our mission for the next decade. Even though Norton, Avast, have served the community, served the world for good for 40 years or so, maybe even more than that. We are here, our mission is to deliver deliver the trust layer for the AI economy. We all know that AI is real now, finally, right? We've been talking about AI for a long, long time. But last few years, but next decade, it's going to transform the way we live and the way we work. And then Gen is really about give you the trust layer for the AI economy. So with that, I wanted to introduce my guest, Josh. You want to say a few words about yourself?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I'm Josh Avant. I'm from Austin. I'm an OpenClaw maintainer with a focus on security of OpenClaw. One of my bigger contributions so far has been adding a feature called Secret Ref. It allows you to move your secrets off of disk and do external secrets management, along with a bunch of other security tweaks and changes here and there. And in a past life, I've been an iOS developer for 14 years. So it's been fun doing this work with OpenClaw.
Okay, let's sit down for a conversation. So today we are, of course, talking about OpenClaw, security, and then what's next in that order. First, just the OpenClaw. Everyone here, you spend Thursday evening here. You already know OpenClaw is. But I wanted to hear from Josh. What is the unique thing about OpenClaw? Like you jump into the community pretty early on, right? What makes you feel like, wow, this is so different? Because there are so many open source projects, there's so many AI open source projects. What did you see with OpenClaw that's kind of so different?
That's a great question. I feel like OpenClaw was the first batteries included AI product that the world has seen. You download it, and out of the box, it's capable of checking your emails, talking to you, being friendly, having a crazy personality. It does all these things that a product studio would dream of pulling together.
Have the personality, have the soul.
Right. And it grows, and it's got memory, and it changes over time. It's like its own thing, and it's a very capable thing.
It's very capable. To me, it's kind of a paradigm shift. I've gone through multiple technology transformations, internet, cloud, mobile. I think OpenClaw, what the architecture it represents is actually bigger than those. It almost, to me, it's almost like a mainframe to PC. Like all the internet, all the cloud, to me, it's like a mainframe. Like I don't really get to control what they do. If they give me the feature, I get to use it, great, right? But what is my kind of the program gets to do? And then finally, I feel like I have a PC, right? So that I get to control, I get to influence. So to me, it's a pretty big transformation. So you joined OpenClaw community, what, early February?
February, yeah.
Okay, so can you just walk us through, because many people here probably wanted to contribute to OpenClaw too. Well, what did you do? Did you send an email to Peter, or just to give us what happened?
I had a little bit of a special circumstance because I've known Peter through the iOS world prior to OpenClaw. And so Peter came to town and he's like, oh man, he's like, OpenClaw is really taking off. I need maintainers. And I was like, actually in January, I took some time off and I'm got nothing to do with my time. So this is a perfect time to find an awesome project to spend some time on.
Came to town, you mean Silicon Valley or Austin?
In Austin, yeah.
Okay. And then he sort of asked, hey, would you like to contribute?
Yeah, I jumped in and I saw like, wow, there's so much potential here as a product, and there's so much potential here of like, we have a lot of issues and PRs and bugs that we need to wrangle. So I jumped in, and it's the best kind of chaos.
And then just tell us how many volunteers you have right now.
I think the maintainer group is probably like 20, 30 or so.
Growing every week?
It's growing a little bit. Every once in a while, like as the project grows, the project takes on like this new life every like week or two. Sometimes Peter's like, we need more people. And then, we'll scan PRs and we'll see like who's making some really great contributions, and we'll make an offer of like, hey, do you want to come be a maintainer?
And Peter now works for OpenAI officially, as we all know. How much is he contributing to the OpenClaw project?
As much as anybody else, which is incredible because he has his full-time day job, and then he's traveling the world, going to GTC, and he's still on just as much as anybody else. He's
talking to Jensen Huang, and then and then still contribute in a way that's what number one contributor, or what's the current?
I'd say so. He if you look at the number of commits graph, which is one of the proxies we use to see like how much folks are contributing, he's always got the biggest bar.
Yeah. So Jensen Huang said about 2 weeks ago that OpenClaw is the most important software in human history, right? It took Linux 30 years to get to where it is in terms of the likes or whatnot, but you guys took 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Peter heard that comment.
Oh yeah.
And then what was his reaction?
I'm sure he's blown away. I feel like he hears a new like craziest thing ever every week, and that was for that week. It was definitely for probably more than just the week, but it was definitely a crazy thing for him to hear. I'm pretty sure somebody on Twitter mentioned it and he retweeted it and all that.
Okay, so let's get into the topic most of you are here for: security. So I personally installed OpenClaw pretty early on, right? But guess what? I have my own Wi-Fi channel for that. I have my dedicated machine. I made sure that my Gmail, iCloud is not even connected to it. It's basically on its own island because I don't know what this OpenClaw is going to do for me in the evening, right? It's powerful. It's wonderful. But I don't dare to connect my personal account to it. Can you share with us that how, as an insider of OpenClaw, core member, how do you guys think about it? By the way, you actually are one of the core member for security area, right?
Yeah.
So that's why, we would love to hear from you. Like, what's the vision? What?
Yeah.
Are you scared just like me, or?
I mean, it's a powerful tool, and like any powerful tool, caution is recommended. The first thing in onboarding is like, are you sure? But we've implemented the security is a lot better in a very short amount of time. The press still lags behind and thinks it's like
so when you say a lot better, can you just give us some sense like why it's much better than, let's say, a month ago?
Yeah, so we've added allow lists, approvals, a lot of checkpoints, a lot of functionality that checkpoints with you, a lot of default closed in some areas that are a little more like powerful. And so the knobs are there. So our security MD, which is our security definition of like the boundaries that we keep, it's kind of deliberately permissive. Like some of the, like a lot of the magic of OpenClaw is that you can download OpenClaw and it goes and it can do all these things and it's super capable and powerful. But there's always that tension there of like, how do we secure that without neutering it? And so it's made to be powerful, and we're adding in the controls that if you don't want it to be so powerful, you can turn it down.
So it's obviously not just one person, you are improving it. There are many people, right? Including Jen, that's part of the reason we are here. Can you tell us about how the community, including my colleagues, how they are contributing and how do you see it?
Yeah, we've had a lot of great help from the community. We couldn't do it without the community. We've had corporate sponsors. We've had a handful of companies dedicate engineers to us full time. We bring them in on the Discord. They're in the trenches with us, talking with us. In fact, the other day I happened upon a PR that was from a Gen employee, and it was actually really well done. And so we definitely, we're still an open source project. It's still primarily manned by people that are working in their free time. So any sponsorship and help that people can provide and companies provide is huge.
Yeah. So actually you text me right away, hey, we just talked, and then you are reviewing the PR from Gen Digital, and then right before this one, 5 minutes ago, I asked him, what's the state? Is it merged? And you told me that this Fireside Chat is in the way.
As soon as we're done talking.
Yeah, so we need to keep it on time. Let me make sure that we don't go over the time. But just to dive a little bit deeper, what are the deeper security things you see that we are doing? When am I going to have the peace of mind to connect my personal accounts to it? What kind of changes have been made, are going to be made?
Right. I would make the argument that a lot of really great security already exists in there, and like I mentioned, is default permissive, somewhat on purpose. I think the big challenge is we need to build in the UX for it. Surface this to people. Right now,
basically you want some workflow for users so that they can be cautious, or they can get some policy going.
Yeah, totally. Or even there's plenty of places where we have allow deny lists and they deny silently, and you're not even aware that something was denied because of your security policy, and we just don't have the UX to surface that. And so my personal opinion is I think there's a lot of places where users don't realize the security is working. It's in there and it's denying things. But we need to add that. One of the PRs I got was adding a prompt to allow deny something. If a LLM wants to make a tool call, that's a brand new feature. I'm still working on that PR and getting it in. Right now, if the tool call is denied, it's just silent. But it's in there. We just need to, we have the long tail work of making it user friendly and giving it a face and stuff.
Yep. And then one of the wonderful things with OpenClaw is that you can use agentic browsing, right? Or some kind of the browsing APIs so that you can do agentic browser. Can you share with us what's your perception? Do you feel like this is pretty powerful already, or a long way to go?
I think it's super powerful already. There's a lot of little coincidental bits of magic to OpenClaw. I think one of them is running an agent. If you go the Mac Mini route, and you buy a Mac Mini and put it in your closet, and then you hook up an agent to your browser, now you're automatically browsing from a residential IP, which, as it turns out, typically flies under the radar of a lot of things. Some websites you connect to from an AWS IP, you're just insta blocked. So I think there's a lot of power in there now, and people hosting in their homes kind of amplifies the power. It looks like them. It looks like it's you going to your Facebook or going to whatever account you send it off to.
What is Peter's view on security with OpenClaw?
Yeah. He really cares about security. We try to flush the security report queue every release. If we know about anything or could plausibly know about anything, we try to address it every release. It's top of mind, and we're working on it. It's a lot of effort. Again, we're a strap team. We're still an open source project, but it's a priority.
So there are already, what, thousands of PRs, right? More than 5,000 PRs. How do you handle that?
We don't address PRs. We address PR clusters because, as it turns out, if you unleash an AI bot on the world that can make a PR, you get a lot of PRs, and many of them tend to be like duplicate or related. So we have like it's a joke among the maintainers that everybody's like to-do list app, the app that everybody makes is like a PR clustering scheme, a triaging tool. Everybody's got their own triaging tool. We're working on consolidating it, but yeah, there's a lot of PRs.
So many of the PRs are submitted by bots already.
Yeah, most of them.
Most of them,
Yeah.
maybe even 80-90% of them.
Probably more than 90%. Yeah.
More than 90%. So think about it. 90% of the PRs for OpenClaw is generated by bots, but you are working on bots to deal with the PR.
Right.
And then there will be bots to deal with that.
Yeah.
So it
It's
will
just
be
the
a
robots
never-ending
talking.
game. So that's great. And you mentioned that you work on it as a PR cluster. That means that you are thinking more at an architecture level.
Yeah.
Right. Not just at solving a.
Right. So there's a tendency, especially with like code AI generated PRs that might fix a specific slice of something, but we want to fix something holistically. So somebody will have a piece of breakage and they'll submit a PR that like technically fixes that little piece of breakage, but we try to address it. We take that PR and then the nearby PR that kind of does the same thing and the 3 other PRs that are duplicates and over there and combine them into one holistic PR to keep the integrity of the whole application.
Okay, so a lot about security. We are going to get to the last section about what's next. Before that, I also want to say that if any of you have questions, maybe stand here as a line. I'm going to see how many people have questions. We can open to questions as well. So what's next? Obviously, it's an open source project. Already 20, 30 core members. Peter's still working day and night. So are you looking for a lot more people? Are you, what is the, starting from there?
Yeah.
Let's just say half a year from now. Do you still think it's 30, 40 people, or it's going to be a lot more core members?
I think we're going to need a team. I mean, it moves at such a fast pace, and Peter wants it to move at such a fast pace. And there's so many eyes on the project that I think we're going to need more people. I think the maintainer group is only probably going to grow. A lot of corporate sponsors are coming online, and it's a huge benefit because they'll dedicate a staff member to us long term, and that's way more robust of a commitment than even myself. I work on it full time currently, but life comes up and I've got to go do other things. But if we have Monday through Friday staff members that are always there, it's just a huge help.
Yeah, I just want to let you know, even though more than 90% of the PRs are generated by bots, all the PRs generated by Jens, my colleagues, they are all generated by humans. So, so that's very important to know. They know security. That's very important.
They use a lot of EM dashes.
So let's talk about things, right? I happen to be around the block for a bit. I've seen, Linux, going up pretty much from nowhere. But then also there are open source projects that used to be pretty popular, but then, died down a little bit, right? One project I can think of is OpenStack. I don't know how many of you have heard about OpenStack. This was 2010, 2011, 12, probably hottest thing in Silicon Valley when it comes to open source project, but, didn't go anywhere. There are a lot of issues with that open source project, but the point I'm trying to make is there are a lot of, very, very popular open source project didn't go anywhere. If there is any risk with OpenClaw, what will be the risk?
Well, I'm sure as everybody's well aware, there's still a lot of sharp edges to setting up and using OpenClaw. We're working really fast to fix them, but that's definitely a friction for more adoption and for people to keep using OpenClaw. I think stability is coming. Bug fixing is basically it's security and bug fixing is the top priority. And so I think we need to solve that. As far as what's next, I think my personal perspective, I think that it'll probably end up being enterprise deployments. I really think enterprise deployment, this is very much a personal opinion, by the way. I think enterprise deployments will be the way that OpenClaw really scales. It's hard. It's hard. There's a lot of surface area, and I think folks that solve that and host it for people and where in a way where people feel secure is going to be one way that OpenClaw remains massive.
Yeah, this is RSA week. I met a lot of CISOs this week. Yesterday, I met a few CISOs at dinner, and I asked them, "Hey, what's your take on OpenClaw?" Half of the CISO actually said that we block OpenClaw. So, but of course, don't be too worried. When Gmail came out, half of the CISO blocked the Gmail, believe it or not. So history will repeat. History is repeating. So going back to the threat to OpenClaw, I wanted to dive a little bit deep. OpenClaw, the name, right? It went through a few names. Many of you know that. The first name is Clawbot, right? It's actually in honor of Claude, right?
Right.
And of course, for one reason or another, Peter has to change the name to OpenClaw. But the way I look at it is the biggest competition to OpenClaw might be Claude, ironically. Do you think so, or what do you think?
Personally, I don't think so. We're an open source project. We're out here having fun. We don't have a corporate guardrails to worry about.
They are adding all those features, right, along the way.
Yeah.
Just even in the last month, added a tremendous amount of features.
Yeah.
And arguably, some of the features it's in Claude, but not in OpenClaw, right?
I'm sure there's obviously going to be like a growing space of like claw-like assistance, but we have such a community behind this, and we have so many eyes on the project, and the extensibility is just crazy. So I think we'll be able to be nimble. I think we'll be able to make a lot of cool stuff, and I think other people will be able to make cool stuff for it too, and we got the benefit of that. So I think an open ecosystem wins. I think the Claw Hub and the platform model wins.
So if OpenClaw is the new Linux, do you think a cloud is the new Windows?
I've heard the OS analogy before, and I think it could be. I think that's not a bad analogy, because you can run it and do anything with it, and it's a core. And it's a core that's capable and flexible and extensible. And if you look at it under a certain lens, it does kind of start to look like Linux or any other operating system.
Yeah, to me, Claude at this point, it's not just Windows, it's also the Office. Many of you, I think, that would be day-to-day use, right? Any questions? Do we have people with questions? Okay, so I can keep going. Who has questions? Okay, please.
Hi, Josh. Jacob Biding, RevenueCat.com. Nice to meet you. Let me see if I can phrase this properly, because I think one of the interesting things about how OpenClaw is being built and maintained is just that you kind of are YOLO mode. Like, you're letting in all these PR. I mean, you're trimming it down now. How do you guys think about the ability to reason about the code base? Like, generally, because with all this agentic coding power, the code base quickly becomes too big for any person to reason about. Are you guys even trying? Do you even care? Are you just letting the agents reason for you and give you digest? Like, what's the philosophy there? Because this thing's just going to grow exponentially, right?
Totally.
So how is the project thinking about that problem?
Yeah, I mean, just as AI agents generate all of the code pretty much, AI agents tell us how it works too. I spend a ton of time like prompting my agent, going like, what's going on here? What changed? Because if only for all of the big AI generated changes, the speed of change, like this thing changes every week. I have to like revisit areas I touched last week to make sure it still works the same. So like I've developed a whole skill set of like interrogating codecs for like what's going on in this project. But what I do find, I was just thinking about this today as I was doing some work, is I know the intent. I know like what this should be doing. I'm familiar with like the plugin system and the allow list, the block list. It should work like this. And I can still, even with all of this like fire hose of information and changes, I'm still developing the sense of like I can pick out something that's not right in that haystack. Like, oh wait, why is that talking to that? Like that's not how it's supposed to be. So like there's still the ability to, like the fine-grained ability to kind of pick that out. Yeah.
And then a last question: how long until OpenClaw maintains itself?
Hopefully not soon, because I'm enjoying maintaining it.
Thank you.
Hey Josh, I'm fairly new to OpenCloud. Where do you see OpenCloud has the highest use case adoption in B2C or B2B space today?
Sorry, what was the last part?
Is OpenClaw more in the enterprise or by the consumers?
I think almost equally. I've seen consumers like build their life around it. It's their personal assistant. It's their task doer. I've seen enterprise companies like generate marketing materials, do research. Like one of the maintainers is a YouTuber, and he has a claw running, like in a business sense, has a claw running going like, what should I blog about? And like, what should the topics be? And do research on the topics. And he just wakes up and checks these reports, and what he does full time is make YouTube videos. And so that all automates it for him. So I think that all the cases apply.
Yeah, I would add, the way I see the value of OpenClaw is really it's the 24/7 always on nature. And when you have an AI agent that's always on, that's pretty much, you have virtual employee, right? Working with you, for you, and you can have many of them. I actually was talking to a CMO this week, and she said, for the first time, my org chart has AI agents in my org chart now. So that's kind of a virtual employee becoming real. But at the same time, for consumers, I mean, ideally we want personal butler, working with us, for us, right? So personal assistant. So I personally see it's just like a PC, right? PC made a tremendous impact to consumers. It also made a tremendous impact to the enterprise. I think it's almost equally.
Just one more question.
Yeah.
If you think about make cloud more secure, if I make analogy, right, in operating system, we'll say, okay, I want to focus on making the networking stack more secure or kernel more secure. How should I think about the security different segment in OpenCloud?
That's a good question. I would say that first of all, start at the security MD. The security MD file in the root of the project that describes like what we define as the security boundaries. Any good security plan is going to start there and understand like what we're defending against and what we're not defending against. VMs are very popular right now. I think a lot better containment tooling and sandboxing tooling is like it's being brewed up right now. So I think there's gonna be some options in terms of containment, like evolving in like the next couple months. But start with the VM, read the security MD, and see what the expectations are, and you can secure it really well.
Thank you.
Okay, last question.
Hi, Josh. Hi,
Hey.
Howie, Xu 老师. So I'm a technical leader at my company, and I love OpenClaw. I have been using it since the beginning when it was called CloudBot.
Sweet.
But my problem is I find it so hard to convince my coworkers to use it. So in your opinion, who should be using OpenClaw, and how would you convince them to use it?
That's a good question. I feel like the best demo is a working demo, and I feel like you probably have you're probably doing some pretty cool stuff with it if you're still using it and excited about it. Show them what it can do. That's kind of how I got my girlfriend on it. I was like, oh, look, I do this, and I do this, and I have like a hosted Mattermost instance with like 7 channels, and they are all doing stuff. And she's like, wow, that's cool. So I think adoption of OpenClaw is helped by seeing all the cool things it can do. A chatbot is like not a new idea, but a chatbot that has 7 channels with you and 7 different personalities and is like doing tasks 24/7, like that's the big like wow.
And always on.
And always on, yeah. So yeah, show your colleagues all the stuff it can do, and I bet they'll be excited.
Thank you.
I think, just add one more thing before we close. One is demo, right? By the way, we actually have demo in some of the rooms right after this one. Not after this one. We have another panel, and if we finish that panel, there will be plenty of demos from Jen's employee. We do personal assistant kind of the claw. We didn't really have a fancy name because the world already have 20,000 claws, so we didn't really want to contribute an extra one. But we feel like in order for your colleague to feel it, it has to be something intuitive, something that's solving the person's problem. We would love to get your feedback. So if any of you look at our demo, you actually get to experience a wonderful personal assistant, another Claw, and then you get to use it after this. After you see the demo, you get free tokens. So that's kind of very important. Actually, let me actually have one last question, because that's actually dear to my heart. People use OpenClaw. One of the issues is token is too much token, right? Too many tokens. How do you think about it?
We definitely keep an eye on that. We hear very quickly if we made a change that spiked token use. We have, I mean, obviously, lots of people using it, and if it's less efficient, we hear about it really quick. We are careful in how we like modify system prompts and stuff like that to make sure that it's efficient. There's more work to do there, like there is everywhere else. But we keep an eye on like making.
But do you think token consumption is a big hurdle for people to adopt OpenClaw?
I think it can be. I mean, I'm somebody that runs on open models. I don't use OpenAI or Anthropic models. So I do like an API like bill rate, and I see how much it uses.
So it doesn't cost you too much.
It can. If I do some heavy tasks, I'll see like I've used like $3 or $4 that day or something. So I do think token cost is gonna drive a lot of adoption, but I'm hoping with all the OpenClaw users, it'll maybe help push that cost down.
Yeah, so the running joke in my house is my son only wants to talk to me when he runs out of the token. So otherwise, he's just busy doing things. So that's actually quite true. So with that, I wanted to thank you, Josh, for coming over here. And I think together, right, with Jen, the community, the volunteers, we are going to make OpenClaw more wonderful from here. Thank you for coming up.
Thanks for having me, Howie.
Take a selfie. I have a lot of titles. One of my titles is actually selfie. Let me actually take it. Thank you. Sure, yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, awesome. Okay, yeah, let's sit down. Guys, let's sit down. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, could everyone do this? Yeah, let me see your faces. 1, 2, 3. OpenClaw is awesome. Okay. Thank you so much.
We have wonderful panel next. Looking forward to it. Shub, please. No. I think we are done.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shub. I work with Charlie and Howie at Gen. Actually, why don't we get the panelists up here? Come on up. If you're going to be on the panel, please take a seat. 5 seats. Anywhere you want. Hey, that would be great. Why don't I get you right in the middle here? And then, are we missing anyone? Who are we missing? George. Oh, there he is. George, come on down. One mic will need to be shared. Okay, cool. Awesome. Hi, everyone. It is great to see all of you here. Why don't we start off with just a quick intro on who you are, what you do, and what your company does, and what made you interested in being a part of this as well. But yeah, go ahead, Klaus.
Hey, my name is Bailey. I am one of the co-founders of Klaus. We do.
You're gonna have to speak here. Why don't we swap?
Hey, my name is Bailey. I'm one of the co-founders of Klaus. We do OpenClaw hosting, so like one-click setup on AWS. Yeah. I guess, sorry. I got you.
Okay.
Hey everyone, George here. So daytime CTO of a stealth startup called Runner. We do cloud co-work type of stuff. And I'm also a maintainer at OpenClaw.
Yeah, I'm Adi. I'm a co-founder at Good. We do recruiting, but we're spinning up something called Good Minion, which will let you use OpenClaw much more streamlined.
Good evening, everyone. This is Sergio. I'm the co-founder of T54 Labs. We're providing risk underwriting service for agents, and one of the products that we're offering for OpenClaw Agent is a line of credit. Like basically, we underwrite the data and underwrite the transactions for OpenClaw Agents, and we also provide insurance. So besides from line credit, so anything related to financial service and trust layer, yeah, that's what we're good at. Yeah.
Hi, this is Frank, so co-founder of BotLearn. So we created a university for OpenClaw bots. So it's a social learning network where tens of thousands of bots share their experience, skills, and workflows with each other. Currently, within 3 weeks of launching, we already got more than 20,000 OpenClaw bots in our platform.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. How about a round of applause for all these amazing founders? Woo! Okay, so I think everybody's working on really interesting use cases and application of OpenClaw. So I'm actually just going to ask you guys to go around and tell this audience the most interesting thing that a customer or user has done with your product, or any interesting sort of story you have. So we have a little bit of time, but I'll keep you honest if you're taking too long. But why don't we go around and hear your most interesting stories of how people are using OpenClaw or your specific products?
Yeah, one of the coolest ones for us was, I think everyone has seen a lot of really interesting use cases online. Like we've seen a lot of the cool classic ones. One of the most interesting was not what the use case was, but who it was. I got on the phone with this guy who was using our platform, and his company builds steel doors in New Zealand. It was like a very non-traditional, like non-tech forward user. And it was cool to chat with him because he didn't care really about OpenClaw at all. He mostly just wanted something to do work for him, and he found OpenClaw doing that. And he was copying data from his like accounting service to a spreadsheet or something. But it was cool to talk with him because he was just so like on the ground, down to earth, like building a business, and was not like caught up in the hype. Was mostly just thought it was cool that it worked so well, that he could do everything in Slack that he wanted to do. Yeah, that was really interesting to me.
Super cool.
I can share a story that like Peter shared with me.
Yeah, that would be great.
So essentially, like he's from Germany, right? And he has a friend that's has a dad that has a kind of brewery, right? So no technical experience, can't code at all. So his dad just kind of hooked the OpenClaw to the brewing machine. And so now like the claw is actually running the brewing machine for his dad. So now you have the beer, right? And next step is his dad wants to like kind of sell the beers right online, right? So the claw just kind of roll the website, deploy the website, and then also hooked up Stripes, right? Yeah. So everything like just kind of done, like yeah.
Like a claw tender, all the way from making the beer to selling it too. Exactly. Super cool.
Yeah, one of our users is a social media influencer who uses OpenClaw to run her interior design page. She actually has like over 1 million followers, but she uses it from start to finish. So she'll use it to scrape images off of RedNote, to remove watermarks, to generate like before and afters of the image, or like generate videos, put them together in like comprehensive like carousels, whether she likes them or not. And then depending on what she likes, she will ask the bot to post, maybe even use it to do analytics on the people who are currently viewing. Yeah.
You know what? Since we're focusing on the like financial risk underwriting, so we're seeing more interesting, cases where agents or OpenClaw agents, they're not like human, because usually human, if you want to fraud, or if you are like being fraud, and the bank system, like the traditional risk control system, they will easily detect the fraud and protect offer you like a very complete protection. So you can dispute, you can get refund. So after we released the line of credit service, the underwriting service for OpenClaw agents, we started to identify some of the patterns that some OpenClaw agents, they look legitimate, like the users are using it. But somehow, agents, they are very delicate when it comes to money. They're still the large language model. There's a lot of research on that. So they're still very easily to be manipulated on financial decision. So we see some, whether it's first-party fraud or by other skills, that the agents, they are adaptively trying to fraud the system. And so initially, we have our rule-based engine, all the traditional risk engine to detect and to defense the fraud. But since we have our agent-native risk engine, because we are also a bunch of agents evolving based on all the use cases, edge cases we're seeing. So even though the agents, they are trying to evolve their patterns, their fraud patterns, but our risk engine will be able to detect every patterns and protect the fund for users. So this is quite interesting when it comes to users OpenClaw start to touch your money and start to really manage your money. It's a serious problem.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, actually, we organized a OpenClaw evolution competition. I told the people to submit, ask their agents to submit their skills or best practices to botlearn.ai, and I will give the bot that attracted the most likes, his boss, a Mac Mini, a real Mac Mini. And it turns out thousands of bots participated, and the single one who won the competition, who got the thousands of likes, is one post. He did a survey, the bot did a survey. What do you want to learn from bot learn community, which is a bot university? And also, he also did a survey for human being, what you want your boss to learn. And to our surprise, the 2 surveys went exactly different. For human being, the most liked things they want their OpenClaw to learn is 1, making money, how to make money. 2nd, security, which everyone cares. Yeah. But for bots, the rank is totally opposite. First, what they want to learn is memory, how to memorize things. And the last is security. Security all the last. And also this boss, very interesting, this bot learned how to cheat. He found another bot cheated. The bot itself wrote an email to me, the organizer, saying the other bot is cheating. So this entire story made me realize OpenClaw really opened a new species. Very interesting.
There are bots that snitch on other bots. This is crazy. Yeah. Super cool. I guess I want to open it up to anybody who wants to answer, right? My next question is throughout your products, and they're very complex and very intricate and have different paradigms, but what happens when a bot makes a mistake, right? How do you think about that? How do you approach that problem? And what have you seen that works for you and what doesn't work for you? So the general question is, what happens when a bot makes mistakes and how do you think about it? Anybody, jump in.
Yeah, maybe because we are the one that directly cover the loss for the mistake. Yeah, because we underwrite the risk. We provide line of credit and insurance. Both products are protecting the risk. Yeah. Protecting the loss. Basically, when agents are making a real mistake by manipulation or hallucination.
What would be a real mistake that a bot makes?
It's very common, basically. If the agent read or retrieve some false data from a data source, or the data source has prompt injection. I mean, prompt injection is the most common scenario and easy to detect. But there are multiple other ways that hard to detect. Yeah, so the agents, when it got manipulated and when you make a mistake, when people lose money, someone needs to take the loss and take the responsibility. So that's us. Because we, at the very front, we underwrite the agents, and we tell whether the user and the agents and the merchant how risky a transaction is, how risky these agents are, and how much liability we are able to take for the transaction, for the loss. So the user got protected in the end.
Does the user have to then say, okay, my bot made a mistake? Like they have to identify to you that the bot actually made a
Yeah,
mistake?
it's basically like you file a dispute in your credit card.
Right.
Yeah, you submit evidence, and the merchant probably, there is a dispute resolution, and we are the ones that providing the evidence, and because we eventually take the liability. Yeah.
Okay, great. And anybody else that wants to jump in on this? Yeah, go ahead.
We have, when a health check fails, we have a Claude Code instance that like watches over each individual OpenClaw instance. And so we have like a agent watching an agent. When the health check fails, the Claude Code instance goes in and like figures out what happened, why the OpenClaw is no longer responding. So we have like a agent watching an agent model.
Sorry, you said when a deployment fails, or?
Yeah, like when an OpenClaw instance fails. So if it fails like responding, it stops responding to messages, stuff like that. We have like a second level a Claude Code instance that just watches over it and goes in and fixes it.
Cool. So you've built like redundant systems.
Yeah, redundant agents.
Yeah.
Agents watching agents.
Cool. Anybody else?
Yeah, I just want to add one part. Actually, for us, we want to make the consequence of those both mistakes as low as possible before it really happened, especially for like Yuheng, what they do. If bot made mistake in finance or insurance, that's big mistake. So, but we want to make sure that when the bot makes like small mistakes, it is part of the learning mechanisms. So we did a loop of learning. For example, if a bot made mistake through our learning mechanism, he or the bot will go to like the school to learn from the community. What are some other contexts? What are some other scenarios they can learn from? They can evolve, and also we create a benchmark to test whether the bot really learned from those mistakes.
Cool. Anybody else? Otherwise, we can jump to go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's pretty straightforward. It's basically like you're trying to do continual learning here, right? And like you just let it make the mistakes and you let it learn from the mistakes. So you can't update the model, you just update the prompts, right? So just a simple loop.
Yeah. Is there, across any of these products, is there a boundary that you've found that customers or users are not willing to cross, right? Like whether it's an OpenClaw user or whether it's something on BotLearn, is there a boundary that a human is not willing to cross so far? And do you predict that is a short-term thing or a long-term thing? I guess that's my next question is there something that people are like, nah, I'm not going to do that, or I'm not going to give it access to that, things like that?
I feel like when we look at privacy in general, we should think of it more as like a sliding scale between privacy and productivity. So if someone tells you like, oh, I have to give up a certain amount of information for being able to be like twice as productive or 4 times as productive, then you might be willing to do that as opposed to if it didn't really do that much for you. So I think that ultimately, although there are these boundaries right now, they're a bit superficial in that a lot of people haven't seen what OpenClaw can do for them fully yet. And once more and more people see that, and maybe people who aren't believers in what OpenClaw can do can see what other people are doing to improve their productivity, then it's going to be really hard to like stay behind or kind of restrict yourself in that thinking, oh, I need to be more private with my information. I don't want to give certain things up. So.
Yeah. Was there a moment specifically for you where people saw something and they're like, oh shit, this is worth it. Like this is worth doing this for me.
For us specifically, like we're developing like a smooth like onboarding experience for OpenClaw. That's what our product is. And we were working with these SPLs at Mercor. What they do is they connect like frontier AI labs with experts and help them do like data annotation and training. And a lot of these people at Mercor have highly like automatable jobs, right? In terms of like obviously they're doing special things, but at the same time, like some of the things that they have to do, like read through Google Docs and summarize them, add comments, send out emails, check their Google chat, like that's all something that OpenClaw can do for you. So I think we went to Mercor and we were showing them like what we can do with OpenClaw. And after we did that, we talked to one specific like SPL, and he was like connecting everything that he could do to OpenClaw on his own Mac Mini. So I think that once people see the extent of productivity improvement, then that like barrier of privacy will kind of go away.
Cool. Yeah, I think you said the sliding scale between privacy and productivity. I think one recent example, of like not related to OpenClaw is even like privacy versus entertainment, right? Like not that long ago, we, as a country, we were really concerned about TikTok and data and what happens there. And, you know, my friends would be like, how are you on TikTok? And I was like, I don't care. It's so fun. All the best things, all the best memes are on TikTok. It's the most entertaining platform. And so the privacy value or the security concern became less and less because it was more and more entertaining. And so I think like there's a couple of those parallels as well. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I fully agree with that. So actually the question is not whether you would be concerned about building OpenClaw. The question is whether it's worthwhile of the concern. Of course, people like when you first talk about the OpenClaw, why you need a Mac Mini or whatever. Also, in our platform is similar. I think it's similar for all of us. Privacy concerns, etc.
Yeah.
But most important thing is to make sure it is worthwhile. But for OpenClaw, currently it's not that entertaining. It's more productivity, both for individuals. So that's why we quickly create a agent-to-agent payment system that individuals with good OpenClaw skills they can monetize through them, or cooperate. They can like do a agent AEO, which is very ubiquitous in the future. So those incentives will be huge enough so that like companies like Jane would build the security layer to make sure all those incentives can be monetized and gained through a security way.
Cool. Sorry, did you want to jump in? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think one of the ultimate boundary that cannot be bypassed, and from our perspective, like privacy, everything. I mean, if you prove you're worth it, users will be willing to and prove it's secure. But the ultimate boundary it cannot be bypassed is the financial identity. It's like when we're looking at this problem, the fact that we're looking at is users. Normally, they're not comfortable of giving out their credit card and their credentials, especially financial credentials, to the agents, and that's another problem embedded behind, because it's basically your personal, like human financial identity, financial profile, and the agents should have a separate one. They cannot represent you, because once if you delegate your financial identity to the agents, and once the agents got fraud, or even the agents fraud others, then your credit history is ruined. So basically, like users, what we're seeing is they're concerned, and they're concerned of giving out their financial information to the agents, but from a regulation or institution level, like we are talking with a lot of traditional financial institution network, and most of them, their view was this is separate. It cannot be mixed. Like you cannot easily give your financial identity to another one representing you. This has to be some mechanism in between and ensure that there is a very well-defined delegation in between. Not directly you give your credit card to the agents. That's too dangerous and not not compatible with the current financial system.
So you're saying that's a boundary that existing financial institutions won't cross, right? Is to not have that strong connection between human and agent. Like there needs to be a chain of delegation there, right?
Yeah, Google's AP2, like the AP2 protocol, they like many of the big giants, they are trying to solve this problem, like how to define the delegation, like using like intent or mandate. But ultimately, like even though there's intent, even though there's mandate, there still should be a separate financial identity as a like bottom line, like final defense. So that's
Got it.
Just from our perspective and from our experience, a boundary that cannot be bypassed.
Yeah. Does anybody else have like a big aha moment that they've discovered for their users, whether even if it's something for OpenClaw that you've worked on, like something that made it super clear to users the value of this or why they should try it, right? I think there's been a lot of buzz for the general population, so think outside of the Bay Area, outside of the tech world. You mentioned folks in like New Zealand kind of picking this up, but is there something that you've seen consistently be able to break that barrier for just adoption for users? Or do you have something that you believe in the future?
Yeah, kind of a boring answer, but I think most of it's just meeting people where they're at in terms of communication platform. Like being able to Telegram or text or Slack with the agent seems to be like huge. It's just like kind of a clicks. It's no longer in a UI. It's like meeting you where you're at.
Yeah.
And it's simple. It's been there from the beginning, but I think it's core to why OpenClaw took off.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess like as a maintainer, like I'm also a pretty heavy user of other stuffs, right? I think like one of the big advantage of this is essentially a lot of things comes prepackaged, right? Because like right now, especially after like last months of shipping, like you can probably do most of the stuff with Cloud Code as well, right? But you actually need to spend a significant amount of time, setting up Cloud Code to actually build all of those. Yeah, and discoverabilities of stuff like plugins is also another thing, right? But I think with the normal users, like when they after they install OpenClaw, usually like if they want to do something, right, it's out of box. You can just do it. Like even if like it's not set up yet, like it can just go out there, modify itself, configuration, set everything up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like a big key is that for a lot of non-technical people, they're used to conversing with a chatbot and thinking like it's going to respond in a very deterministic way.
Right.
If it talks to you and tells you something, you think that you can't change it to give it a different response. So I have given it to a few friends who are non-technical and like outside the Bay Area to try out. And I think that like it's a kind of unique conversation when they come back and tell me like, oh, this didn't work, or I don't know why I couldn't do this. And I tell them like, did you ask it why I couldn't do that? Like, did you ask it why it couldn't figure something out? And they are able to ultimately get over that hump. It's just that like the initial friction of understanding its overall capabilities is difficult to do without maybe demoing or showing someone in the first place like how far it can reach.
Awesome. Yeah. Anything else to share around an aha moment?
I think like since I've been in the AI for decades and I've witnessed like the expansion of the whole AI from concept to real life to every human beings. I think what we need and what's blocking us is the time. We need patience. Sometimes like expansion or education or like a groundbreaking or a fundamental evolution. Sometimes they need time. They need time to from different industry and to normal people's life, and also like trust. Because what we're building and what we're working towards is building up the trust between humans and the agents,
right?
Like by providing financial service. But trust is not something you can achieve in a day. It's accumulated. It needs time. So I should say like we are all working towards the right direction, but we all need to be patient and we all need some time. Yeah.
Yeah. So unlike all of them, actually I came from a non-technical background.
Wow.
So I studied economics and public policy at Harvard, which is not welcome here because here is everything Stanford. So, but OpenClaw really made me personally got a aha moment 1 month ago when in the first time in my entire life, even though I have been an investor for AI for many years, I never wrote any line of code. But with OpenClaw, I can build, like actually learn with like 4 or 3 people write code that within 3 days.
Right.
With the help of OpenClaw. And I just feel like a new world totally opened. Because in the last month we built like OpenClaw things, one day my dad in his near 60s never had any tech experience asked me, what is lobster? Like everyone is talking about. And I helped him set up his OpenClaw and learn some skills and set up. And he also tried. He did some of his some personal fun things. So that moment made me realize that it is really like different from an entire other like tech products. Is actually like open new phase of possibilities for every individual who, as long as you have an idea, then you can make it happen. So that's why our mission is really to make OpenClaw and the entire agent system to applicable, enjoyable by any people in the world.
That's awesome. Cool. So before we wrap up, I actually want to give each of you a chance to, give your calls to action, right? So if there's anything you want to share with this audience, this is your chance. If you want them to try a product out, you want them to contribute to something, this is your shot. So go ahead and we can just go down the line here and call it out. But yeah, if you're looking to hire, you're looking to raise, I think this room is actually has a handful of investors, a handful of people looking to actually get a job as well. So yeah, go ahead and make your shout outs.
Yeah, I guess if you're looking to try OpenClaw in the cloud, Klaus is a great place to start. So come find me.
If you're thinking about contributing to the code base, come talk to me.
Yeah, I think we're specifically looking for test users. And like I said, we've been working with some big companies like Mercor. So if you're either like looking to deploy in like an enterprise kind of solution, or even just interested as a solo user to try stuff out, then just let us know.
So I have a very special project. So I want to share, and I want to find someone, like more friends, more contributors that are interested in. So I had around like 12 founders from different projects that are working with me on specifically a phone use. So I don't know like how much context that everyone has about phone use, but actually in China there is a the mobile ecosystem is even like more solid, stronger. So phone use actually has some advantages over computer use and browser use. I don't think too many people realize that. So for example, most of the payments are happening on your mobile.
Right.
Yeah, because mobile by its native, it's a permission intensive device. It's not on your computer. Like you always do 2FA, you always do passkey, like from your phone. So phone is a place where permission is intensive, and phone is another place where context are switched smoothly than computer. Computer or browser, you have to know where or which resource you want to visit and type in the URL. But for phone, it's basically a switch between apps, and all the. But speaking of the security and permission, mobile phone or mobile OS has better or much mature ecosystem than computer operating system. Every phone, like mobile apps, they will request your authorization for like your location, your photos, your camera, whatever. There are a lot of walls between the system and the apps and between apps. So they have very well mature and well designed like permission system. So I'm exploring that on that end, which based on OpenClaw.
Right.
And adding up phone use native. There's a lot of difference, but phone use is a next trend that I see.
So are you saying you're basically looking for people to help you bring phone use to life through OpenClaw?
Yes, so it's an open source project. It's already open sourced and just looking for more contributors, because I have been a hacker for 10 years, running and participating in all the different hackathons and do a lot of hardware, VR, AR, gaming, everything basically. So, and my experience is very full stack. So I would rather looking for like-minded contributors, developers to join me, and that's the most valuable resource I can get from today. Even valuable than users. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. As someone who has been in education industry for many years and went to Harvard, I call all the human beings, you don't need to go to universities anymore, but send your AI agents to school and let your AI agents learn for you. And what's more important, I call everyone to really do whatever you can to contribute to the OpenClaw ecosystem. The whole world is emerging, a lot of possibilities. And if you are doing interesting OpenClaw projects, we have an incentive program to work with OpenClaw KOLs to make sure that your impact can reach more people. We are also raising another round, so definitely looking forward to talking to you.
Awesome. Yeah. Hey, big round of applause for all our panelists. come say hi and talk to them. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
It's been great.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks.
Okay, sorry. Quick photo. $5 says we're gonna have to do a thumbs up. Okay.
Stand.
Thank you. Hey, thanks, guys. Let's get some food.